Alrighty, hello and welcome to episode 5 of the Outside the Numbers podcast. I'm Shelby Allen,
I'm Ethan Manjuri.
and thankfully the news has picked up a little bit. We've got a couple quarterback signings and just enough intrigue left with Aaron Rodgers and a few other quarterbacks who have yet to make their decision. But we'll start off with, maybe the most important so far. We got Derek Carr signing with Ethan's favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. How are you feeling right now?
I like it. I like that we signed him without trading for him. So he was one of the names that came across on Twitter a lot before we had signed him, and people were talking about trades and what they thought was acceptable, and I didn't think that we could afford to trade for him. That we would what we would have to give up would be too valuable, and so I didn't like that idea. But so I'm happy that we were able to get him without giving up anybody. The question is, are we going to be able to afford him down the road? Because it's just going to be a pushing off the cap hit until later years. So we'll see how it stacks up. But so far, I feel good about it. I think he's the best option that we have at our disposal right now. So it's exciting. I'm trying not to get too excited though.
Well, yeah, it's a weird place to be, I guess, with the other quarterbacks because it felt like Derek Carr would end up in the Saints just because of their cap situation, and he might be the ceiling of what they can afford. He's probably the most middle of the pack of the 5 or so quarterbacks that are available or that were available. But yeah, it seemed like it was destined to be. He's a Saint, and hopefully they're able to maybe keep Michael Thomas, give him a target for a season or two. I've heard some rumors about him being cut. You think Thomas makes it through?
Thomas tweeted out, "Thank you, Jesus," or something like that right after the signing was announced. So that was cool.
Okay.
But also, it's Dennis Allen has worked with Derek Carr before, so that's interesting. So that might be able to help him because he's a defensive mind. So him at head coach, maybe leave the offense to Derek Carr and Pete Carmichael now, and just focus yourself on the defense. So maybe it'll work out. But I'm trying not to get too excited.
So you're saying your most optimistic take about Dennis Allen coaching is a scenario in which he just doesn't touch the offense.
Yes.
That makes sense. That's the state of the Saints coaching situation.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I do not envy you. But hey, I think honestly I can say now that with the Cowboys and Saints, like I was looking at career stats, they're not like Dak and Derek Carr aren't as separated as you might think. I think Dak caught up with Carr's interception percentage pretty. He jumped a little bit of the gap this year. So yeah, we're about in the same place. We're not getting Lamar, we're not getting Rodgers, but yeah, keep expectations low. Speaking of low expectations, Daniel Jones signs a 4-year deal with the New York Giants for $160 million. Not sure the percentage of that is guaranteed, but that's more than I thought that he would get.
That's what I was thinking. I don't know if he's gonna be starting quarterback material in 4 years. They have a lot of faith in him, it seems. I don't know where they're getting that from.
They didn't like a year ago, and then they got a good few like months at the end of this season. But the first 3.5 years wouldn't really tell you that he was your long-term answer. And so I don't know what exactly they think they're doing. I know it's hard to get a franchise quarterback, so you hold on to him if you think you got him. But I've nothing but enjoyed watching Daniel Jones play as a Cowboys fan. So that should tell you a lot. I celebrated this contract, which should not happen. If you're the Giants front office, that's maybe the last thing you want to happen. But
he does own one of the more embarrassing plays that I've watched live with that scramble that he got away and then tripped. So
it's funny because as a Cowboys fan, I'm haunted by the Ezekiel Elliott version of that. I think it was against the Eagles where he broke free and had nothing in front of him, and he hurdled a guy. There was one safety. He hurdled the safety one-on-one, and then he landed it, and it was just him in the end zone, and he just like crumbled at like the 5. But Daniel Jones version, there's just no safety there. Yeah, exactly. Like there's no reason. It was the same thing, but with no obstacle.
For his leg.
Just started stumbling forward. Incredible. He is, weirdly enough, probably like an above average runner as a quarterback.
Yeah, and he's pretty quick too.
I feel good with the current state of NFC East quarterbacks for the next 4 years. In this case, so. And then a similar setup over in Seattle. Geno Smith gets signed. I don't believe it was 4 years. I don't know if the exact terms on that, but he's got at least a multi-year deal to another quarterback where you think probably not a franchise guy. And
No,
similarly, didn't really break out until this past season. What do you think of the move?
it seems like teams are, like you said earlier, just if you have somebody in the building, take your shot with him because
Mm-hmm.
it's just easier, and you already know him, you already know his quirks, everything, what he's best at, So you have that relationship, and you don't have to start over because there's not a whole lot of great options right now, and the ones that are great are very expensive. So
Right.
it's just one of those years I think where it's not a teams aren't really pushing for a brand new franchise quarterback.
And I also saw like you're saying, I saw rumors that Garoppolo might end up with the Texans. It's so tough. I mean, we've basically gotten to the point where there are more teams than there are functional quarterbacks, which still doesn't make sense for how many people play the position of quarterback. You would think there'd be at least 32 that were good enough
Yeah.
to earn long-term deals and carry a team, but no, we're still wading through the
Well,
Garoppolos and Geno Smiths of the world.
yeah, we got to see what Jameis does now.
And Andy Dalton. Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
think they keep which one of them do you think they keep, or do they keep both? I mean, they obviously don't
I
keep both.
feel like they're going to keep Andy for the same reason that they kept playing him at whatever it is, whether it's, so we just really don't know. Is Jameis Winston really still injured? Is it still that bad? Or did he just not want, because we were told like 3 different times that he was going to be back next week and then he never was. So weird
Right.
situation there.
It is a weird situation. I heard earlier this week that it was one of the best PFF seasons, like if not the best PFF season of Andy Dalton's career. And weirdly enough,
Yeah.
he's had some good years over in Cincinnati. So he's decent. I think if you keep the one, you keep Dalton, but they're not worried about it in that sense. They're looking at finances and everything. So
Right.
yeah, so hopefully I don't know, hopefully you don't have to worry about the backup too much with Derek Carr in the building.
Yeah.
Another team, and this is interesting too, because all of these moves create voids. Like we could be in 2 weeks talking about what the Ravens, maybe the Ravens need Andy Dalton, maybe the Ravens need Jameis Winston because they can't retain Lamar Jackson, who they signed to an exclusive franchise tag, meaning that he is tagged at the quarterback market for 1 season, but and any team can make an offer, but the Ravens have a chance to match other teams' offers and make that deal go through instead of losing him. But I don't know. There's teams out there that can outbid the Baltimore Ravens. So do you have any teams at the top of your list for Lamar Jackson?
Oh goodness. I don't know. So I don't think he's going to end up going anywhere, even though other teams can. I think the Ravens are going to figure out any way that they can to match whatever comes in for the same reason that the Seahawks are keeping Geno Smith, and that, keep the guy that you have the relationship with. And especially when he's the number one free agent quarterback, like bar none, like you need to do everything you can to hold on to him because the options aside from him are worse.
And they're not drafting anywhere great
No.
either. I mean, they had a middle of the pack season, so and they made I just forgot they made the playoffs. I look back at the season and it doesn't make sense to me that Tyler Huntley played a playoff game, but he did. Yeah, I was gonna say I was gonna throw out teams like the Falcons as just like hopefuls. I think it'd be fun. There's so many teams that I would
That
rather
would make
see
the
him
NFC
on.
South really interesting.
So fun, yeah.
Very interesting.
And then obviously Aaron Rodgers came out of the darkness last week, but still has not given any further indication as to where he wants to go. There's still whispers about the Raiders, still whispers about the Jets.
He's gotten permission. He got permission to meet with the Jets.
The saddest thing about this is that in my head, I'm like, I can't picture him being good if he goes to New York.
That's
And
what
I
I was
want
about to say.
like I would, like so out as an anti Rogers guy, I'm kind of endorsing that, but it'd be more fun for him to go to Oakland. Not because the Jets don't have great receivers and a stacked defense, but just because you can't picture somebody at the quarterback
Jets, yeah.
position in a Jets uniform playing well. Yeah, that is.
But it would be interesting because like he's not going to play bad more than likely. You know, I mean, he last season
Mhm.
wasn't spectacular, but it's still above average for right now. So I mean, it would be that whole organization is the problem.
All right, so we previewed it last week, but we are each going to be drafting a team of 8 free agents each from the available free agents, and this will include players like Derek Carr that just got signed, but it will be 8 only offense, any position, and we will flip a coin to decide who goes first, and then we'll each have 10 seconds to make our pick round to round. Also, I just realized we have a 10-second timer. If one person goes over the timer, the other person gets to eliminate a choice from them. It also seems to make sense that if you accidentally pick a player who the other person picked and you're just not keeping track, the same penalty occurs.
Okay.
So it's a real
Okay.
test of our general manager ability here. Two guys that have been, in multiple fantasy leagues a year
Mhm.
for many years. So let's see how it goes. Are you ready to flip the coin? Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
I
call it in the
got a
air.
quarter.
Okay, I'm
You
trusting you
ready?
here because I can't see. I really am not gonna be able to see this thing. So
You ready?
okay, all right, yep. Heads.
It's tails.
All right.
See, you can see
Unless
it.
you want to,
That's the head side. There's a head on there.
I'm not gonna lie. I just can't even see
There
that,
you
but I
go. There you
appreciate the
go.
gesture. Yep,
Yeah.
yeah. Nope. Sure enough. Okay. All right. You retain my trust.
Writing in angles and stuff.
Now I will remind you that by the official rules, you can use your decision and elect to defer that pick.
See, but that would
You
be
know,
entirely foolish, wouldn't it?
I'm just saying it's an option. It seems worth noting.
Mm. Okay.
Just want to let you know. But you're electing to pick first, is what you're
Yeah,
doing.
I will elect to defer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I can follow that. All right.
Okay. So pick one. First pick in our little draft. I'm gonna go unexpected and take Saquon Barkley.
That is so. Oh. Okay. All right. My 10 seconds is on, so I shouldn't be making fun of you. All right. Lamar Jackson. It's Lamar Jackson.
Okay, he's got Lamar. Let's see. I don't have much time. Shoot.
You've
I'll
got
take
4 seconds.
Derek Carr, the
Okay.
quarterback.
All right. Fair move. And we'll go over these after. Don't worry. We're not just going to not address it. With my next pick, am going to pick up running back Tony Pollard.
Tony Pollard. All right, let me reset timer. Let's see. Oh shoot. Um, okay. Let me take Odell.
Okay.
Problem
All
child.
right. I will select tight end Dalton Schultz.
Oh geez.
I'm just
Picking
shamelessly
on the
going
right thing
Cowboys on this one.
fast too. Okay,
I got
I'm gonna
7 seconds.
Mike Gesicki.
Okay. Um, all right, I will select. I still need a good receiver. I'm going to go. It's not a great receiver. Juju Smith Schuster.
Okay, you had 3 seconds left. I was getting close.
Okay.
Oh shoot. Okay. Um, let me grab DJ Chark.
Okay. All right. Man, yeah, the receiver class is not great. I'm going to go ahead and pick up a tackle. I'm going to pick up, or actually, no, I'll go tackle. Okay, Orlando Brown Jr.
Oh, you had 1 second
Was that? I
left.
was running it real close. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna take Jason Kelsey, even though he's on his way out.
That was going to be my other pick. Okay. Let's see. I will pick up. I don't know that. Alan Lazard. Have you picked him
Oh,
already?
no, I didn't.
Okay.
Um, okay, let's see. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Two more. Shoot. Sterling
5
Shepard.
seconds. Okay. All right. I'm gonna pick up Josh Jacobs.
Okay. Dang it. Okay, so next I will take. Oh boy, Miles Sanders.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna pick. I am going to pick Rodney Hudson center.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Shoot, is that 8?
I think that might be 8. Yeah, let's pause the timers, count it up. All right, well, that concludes the draft, just under 2 minutes, and we have each got a team of 8 players. Just off the bat, how are you feeling about your team?
Pretty confident that I drafted better than you, at least.
Well, I mean,
Just putting it out
feels
there.
uncalled for. All right, well, ultimately, the viewers will decide. We will put it up on our Instagram and bring you all the results next week, but we will go through more objectively, position through position. Let's start at quarterback because I think that most people would agree that's probably the most important position. So, like, when you have a chance to set yourself up with maybe the best available quarterback, you take it. I think 10 out of 10 times you draft that quarterback with that top pick. So who did you end up with then with the first overall?
With the most important player, I had Derek Carr.
Okay. All right. Yep. Most important position.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, you fall in line with the Saints. Made that decision. Well, I will say for my end, I did end up with Lamar Jackson, All Pro, just like unanimous Pro Bowl selection.
He's clear cut,
phenomenal player. Yep. Okay. Well, yeah, we can breeze past that. That's a quick one. Straight on to running backs.
Here's where it falls apart for you.
Look, running back room. I don't think it's as bad as I will concede looking at them right off the bat that you have the better running back room.
Saquon Barkley.
Correct. We're gonna do the other as well.
That's really all I would even need.
But that's not
aside from him. Aside from him, I also have Miles Sanders. So now Saquon doesn't have to play the bully role at all. He can just do his happy feet and making people look stupid and then taking off. And then Miles Sanders is just going to bully you and run up the gut and wear your O-line out.
Okay, well, I'll pitch you on maybe. Okay, so we've got the league's leading rusher, Josh Jacobs, 2022 leading rusher, right? So we've got that to start. That is true. I dropped that on you. I didn't tell you that ahead of time. Yeah, he was the 2022 yards leader. And then we've got Tony Pollard, who as a backup, and he wasn't really a backup by the end of the year, but 1,000 yards, quite impressive, juking people. He is a great number 2. But no, there is no argument. You do have the better running back room. On to receiver, where it gets worse for me. You would go ahead and just give all of our receivers yours and then mine.
All right, so I ran with OBJ, DJ Chark, and Sterling Shepard. Sterling Shepard has actually been a pretty decent wide receiver 3 for me in past years of fantasy. So I'm not very upset with that. DJ Chark, that's an LSU boy. I like him. He's athletic, quick. He's got all the receiver things you're looking for. And then OBJ has proven himself multiple times in the league. He's a bit of a cancer in the locker room sometimes. It's unclear totally whether or not that's all on him or he has been thrown into some iffy situations. But
there's nothing leaving different organizations with a bad taste in their mouth repeatedly. I don't think he's the easiest guy to get along with for team chemistry, but no, I mean he's a great player.
He catches footballs well.
A little on the old side. I mean he is closing in on 30. He might already be 30. He is definitely. He's over 30. So yeah, no, that's a great receiver room. But look, I've got Juju Smith-Schuster and Allen Lazard, right? So I will admit it's not great that there's only 2 of them. That's an error on my part. I will own that. Yeah. But what I don't have there, for one, I've got Lamar Jackson, right? So I feel like I've got a running game. I did go heavy on O-lineman as well. We'll get to that.
That's true.
But it's not going to be an air raid offense. We got great blockers. We got a couple of, top 10, top 5 running backs.
And Lamar's got his feet. That's a he's got a pretty decent weapon with his feet as well. So that's a good point.
Yeah, and he's been resting for a while
Right.
now. So whether that's a good thing or
He's
not,
ready to
we'll
go.
find out when this team hits the field. But in terms of offensive linemen, I pick up where are my picks here? I've got Rodney Hudson, who I feel pretty confident about. And did I? Oh my gosh, did I only get one offensive lineman?
No, you took Orlando Brown also.
Oh, thank you. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So Hudson and Orlando
You're
Brown,
beefed up
left
on the
tackle and
lineman.
center, and then obviously the rest of the team is kind of filled in with imaginary average players. But if you're looking at the high ends of the team, two solid offensive linemen, still pretty young, a good running game to establish. What did you pick on offensive line?
My only offensive lineman was Jason Kelsey.
That's solid.
So, I mean, he's very good, but getting up there in his career, plays center, so it takes a toll on you. And
I will say, in your defense, Cowboys picked up like Jason Peters, and he's 40, and he still had a ton of play left in him. And I know Kelsey's not even 40; he's getting there, but just because they're older, they've got the experience and they can be thrown into a system and make the team better. But we would sit here for a very long time without deciding which two of these teams is better. So we will toss it to y'all this week and get back to y'all with the updates. But in the meantime, that is all. Next week we will be taking a little road trip down to Orlando, and we will have some form of content for you. We're going to be attending the Houston Roughnecks Orlando Guardians game of the XFL. So, and it appears on a very basic level that we are going to watch a matchup between the worst and the best team in the XFL. But we're both very excited. So,
yeah, it's gonna be a ton of fun. We'll probably hit y'all with some. Yeah, we'll probably hit y'all with some live Instagrams if y'all want to get on there, see what we're doing, and stuff like that. So we'll be throwing some stuff up there soon.
Awesome. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in, and we will see you next week. Thanks for hopping on, Ethan, as always.
Yeah, man, thank you.
All right.